They were born into a connected world, but many feel more disconnected than ever. Scroll, like, post, repeat. For Generation Z, these aren't just actions, they're habits that shape identity, fuel anxiety, and mask a deeper problem. In 2025, mental health isn't a whisper, it's a war. And Gen Z is leading the revolution. This is the untold story of how a generation broke the silence, rewired their minds, and redefined what it means to be okay. Born between 1997 and 2012, Generation Z has never known a world without the internet. They are digital natives, scrolling before they could speak, Googling before they could spell. But behind their tech-savvy smiles lies something darker. In 2025, 63% of Gen Z report poor mental health in the last month alone. 1 in 3 have been diagnosed with anxiety or depression, and suicide remains one of the leading causes of death among them. So what's really going on? To understand the crisis, we must go back to the roots. This generation was shaped by more than screens. They were raised during economic recession, political chaos, climate disasters, and a pandemic that isolated them in their most formative years. COVID-19 didn't just close schools, it closed social development. It amplified loneliness and trauma. Add to that the pressure of always being on from school, social platforms, and society's expectations. And you get a generation that is burnt out before they even begin. Social media, the double-edged sword. For Gen Z, platforms like TikTok and Instagram are lifelines for creativity, connection, and coping. But those same platforms are also sources of intense pressure, comparison, perfectionism, cancel culture, cyberbullying. They're not just browsing, they're constantly auditioning. If I don't post, I disappear. But if I do, I get judged. Anonymous Gen Z voice. Likes and views have become currency for self-worth, and that cost is mental health. But here's where it gets powerful. Gen Z isn't hiding. They're not sweeping pain under the rug. They're bringing it to the forefront. This is the most vocal, vulnerable, and therapy-positive generation in history. On TikTok, the hashtag #mentalhealth has over 100 billion views. Therapy isn't taboo, it's trending. Gen Z is saying it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay silent. As traditional systems failed to provide relief, Gen Z looked elsewhere. They turned inward and backward to ancient practices. Crystals, tarot, breathwork, journaling, moon rituals, sound healing. These aren't fads to them, they're forms of self-preservation. Offline retreats and safe community spaces are rising. For Gen Z, healing is no longer private, it's political. It's spiritual, it's shared. Gen Z is not just talking about change, they're building it. Mental health startups, peer support collectives, therapy apps, wellness bots. They're merging tech with healing on their own terms. They're saying, we're tired of broken systems, we're making our own. We don't want to be strong. We want to be safe. We're not weak, we're aware. This is our revolution. They've been called lazy, fragile, soft. But in truth, they are resilient, open-hearted, and unafraid to feel deeply in a world that taught them to numb. Gen Z is not lost, they're healing, loudly. And in doing so, they may just save the generations that came before them. This is The Hidden Edit. Subscribe for more untold truths. The revolution has begun. Are you listening?